All right, welcome. Hello, welcome to the YouTube version of the Power of Preparation workshops. These are life skills for a lifetime and real skills for success in the 21st century. My name is Michael Gray. I'm the Care Center counselor. I also teach uh, career tech ed classes in social work and community advocacy, as well as developing future mental health professionals. The Poly Care Center has been serving Poly and the Long Beach community since 1997, way ahead of the game. All right, here we go. First off, what I'd love for you to do at home as you watch this is stop the video after I give these first directions, which we're going to do something called the Power of Living in Gratitude exercise. And just take a piece of paper or in the notes section of your phone or whatever. But first, take a few seconds and visualize someone in your life that has had a positive impact on your life and is still living. And then write them a short note of gratitude. Like, just take a minute or two. It doesn't have to be a long letter, just a few lines of appreciation and gratitude. Go for it. Stop the video. Here's the second part. Yes, call them, read them the note. If they don't pick up, it's okay. Leave them a voicemail. Really do your best to not text this, okay? And if you do a handwritten letter and put it in the old-fashioned mail, that's cool too. But the immediacy of calling them, that has a lot of power. The voice connection part has a lot of power. So once again, call them. Hopefully they pick up. If they don't, it's okay. Leave a voicemail. They'll get back to you. And once they get back to you or they, get it, how did it make your person feel? How did it make you feel? Right? There's a lot of power in this. I've done this exercise over and over again. It just shows the difference between like making a list of gratitude, which is fine, is good, but the power of living in gratitude and daily and constantly showing appreciation for others and also, showing appreciation to yourself. That's where the power is. And when you do this, it helps you focus more on what you do want for your life as opposed to what you don't want. You're open to working hard. Why? Because you get into this frame of mind that you do believe that your hard work will pay off at some point, right? This type of daily action, and it becomes a habit when you do it on the daily. It improves relationships, reduces negativity. It helps with your problems of solving skills. It helps unshackle you from toxic emotions. Like I said, for this to really take root and become part of life, of your life, it has to be daily, right? And that's what makes a real difference. And then, as I alluded to a little bit ago, is be willing to receive gratitude from others. Be willing to receive like appreciation from yourself to yourself, right? That's a real superpower. How hard is it for us to receive compliments or to receive all sorts of stuff that's a positive or that's a good thing, or people showing gratitude to us? In order for this to really be at its most optimum level, we have to be good with receiving gratitude, right? And as I said earlier again, gratitude is an action word, is a verb. Sharing your gratitude is what makes you powerful, right? And we just did the exercise. So, as you can tell, this whole thing is really based on not just information, but doing. And part of what's helped me is going to grateful.org. You see it on this slide, grateful.org. I do that every morning. I look at the word of the day or the quote of the day, and then I also go to the question of the day, which allows me to mentally like really get into a frame of mind of gratitude. Why do I have this ECOSIA, ECOSIA ecosia.org slide up. Well, we all use search engines on our computers, on our laptops, on our devices, on our phones. I just want to encourage you to consider switching to this one, this ecosia.org. After X amount, I forget how many searches, they will plant a tree. All right. And as you can see up there, I planted 6 trees with my laptop and another 2 or 3 with my phone. I just encourage you to check it out. And I don't know, it's just a good way to, and the service is great. Like everything's still the same. And anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there because that's part of what we're trying to do through the Care Center is really bring not only awareness about climate change and our the future for our young people, right? But what are some small things that we can do that add up to big things? All right. So on the same paper or in your phone that you did the gratitude note, I'm asking you, just write down a little bit about 3 of these. I'm going to talk about all of them just really quickly. But what is your belief about, or like, what's your mindset about stress? Like, how do you feel, not just feel about it, but what's your belief about stress? What's your belief about sleep? What's your belief about what you eat? What's your mindset or belief about our education system and your children's, or if you're an educator, or students' future in the 21st century? What's your belief about how the education system is addressing your children's or students' future in the rest of this 21st century? What's your belief about mental health? What's your belief about when things don't go your way? Like, what's your belief about that in your life? What's your belief about when you experience setbacks? What's your mindset about that? What is your mindset or belief about change? All right. And then lastly, what's your belief about spirituality? Or if that terminology doesn't like fit with you, then substitute what's your belief about a source of strength, right? That comes from outside of you or within you. All right. Now, I talked about change right here just for a second. I'm going to show you a quick video about change because change is so hard. Doing new things is really difficult. Doing difficult things that are new to me are like super hard. And I just want to show you a quick video on why is that.
All right, so what we're talking about in our workshop is just how difficult it is to change, and that our brain really doesn't want us to change. And I want to show you one little trick that will remind you of that and helps you practice that it's okay to not feel like doing stuff that's new or uncomfortable or difficult, right? That it's normal to not want to do it. So here's just an illustration. So everybody just fold your hands. Like, I know I'm looking at the camera. That's fun. I'm not supposed to look at the camera. So you fold your hands like normal, right? And you feel comfortable. Kind of notice how you have your fingers and which thumbs on top and all that kind of stuff. So now pull your hands apart and put them back together. Did you do it the same way?
Yeah.
Me too. I could do this like a billion times. So now, so that's our life, the way our habits and stuff, right? So now what you do is you take each finger and move it down one spot. How does that feel?
Feels weird.
Weird, uncomfortable. Do you want to go back to your normal spot? Yeah, I want to go back to, that's how life is. I don't want to do it again. Go back down like one. I don't want to do things that are new and uncomfortable and stuff. I want to go back. So that's really just a quick thing. You can do it with crossing your arms, like you cross your arms and then do it opposite and you feel uncomfortable. Anyway, you're not weird, you don't suck, You're not lazy when you don't want to try something new. We just have to build the skills to like really overcome what our brain doesn't want to do, because we know we got to do new things to like move forward in life. So that's the challenge, bro. It's hard.
Now, why did I ask you to do that? I asked you to do that because the research from Dr. Ali Crump from Stanford University, so much data on that our beliefs are so critical and crucial to how we deal with life each day. So really quickly, I call this the cycle of life, why we do what we do. Look up at the top, the golden part. Everything in my life, in our lives, in our students' lives, in our children's lives, start with how I feel about myself, my belief in myself, my belief in my abilities and my skills, and then as a result of that, my belief in how my life will work out. They all work together up at the top. All right. So now let's follow the little diamond. So starting at the top, I go down. How do I feel about myself, my beliefs, my skills, all that kind of stuff, right? And now life happens to me, and let's follow it clockwise. So something happens, or I wake up, I'm into my day, stuff happens, as it always does, just life in general. And based on those top things and what just happened, I'm into my feelings, or I'm catching emotions, or I'm dealing with stuff. And of course, that leads to a reaction, or how I deal with stuff, and then my actions. So as you can see, they all lead one thing to another, like a chain. Now in the education system, based on how I'm doing, how I act in class, am I doing work, am I showing up, all that kind of stuff, we react to it. And as you see in the blue box, this is where we spend a whole lot of energy, time, money, resources, people, is in interventions. And we need that. Just like in, let's say, outside of school with mental health. I'm having mental health situations based on what we just talked about, right? And the intervention could be therapy, right? The intervention could be counseling. No different in the education system. It could be a talking to in the office. It could be a tutoring class. It could be counseling. It could be all sorts of stuff, right? Cool. Those are all super important, super necessary. That's my point is not to denigrate them. Like, we need them, right? But if I'm a student and I get pearls of wisdom from the assistant principal or a counselor or someone, that's cool. I might even understand it and get it and want to do better. But after that meeting or that tutoring session or whatever, where do I go? I go on social media. I go to kick it with my friends. They didn't get that message. They don't know like the pearls of wisdom that I got. And now here I am as a 15-year-old or whatever age. Now I'm supposed to try and convince my squad, my group of friends, to change what we've been talking about and doing based on typically a grown-up, their pearls of wisdom. It's not really going to happen. So look up at the top blue box with the lightning bolts. We need to spend our time, our energy, and our focus on those top things, on how people feel about themselves, their beliefs and I'm not talking about like the fake kind of fifth place trophy just for trying. That's not my point. My point is that everyone needs skills and abilities, and not just the information about like how to do breath work or how to have empathy or all that kind of stuff, which is what we're going to get into for all three of these workshops, but actually practicing them, and not just practicing them for myself, but sharing them with others, which leads to the other part of where we need to spend time and energy is with groups of friends, with whole entire classrooms, with an entire school, staff and students together learning these life skills for a lifetime, right? And that's what's going to prepare us for the 21st century. Because right now we're doing piecemeal. We're doing one thing over here, one thing over there. We're doing SEL lessons, like kind of hit and miss and all that kind of stuff. And it's made it like no one wants to do it, so on and so forth. So let's move on. Because the way the education system typically does things is it gives a lot of information. And that's the way we've been doing stuff forever. Like, here's a chapter to read, or here's something to look at, or a class project, or whatever, and you get information, and you get some knowledge. And then you put it out on a test, or a paper, or a project, and then you move on. And what, unfortunately, we have done with mental wellness skills and emotional intelligence skills, which we'll talk about more in a second, like, we've reduced those to like writing about it, maybe having a quiz on it, or just a lesson. And that's not what this stuff is. We have to create actions, because actions are what create your mood. And as you see in the text, unfortunately, everyone's doing these things. We're waiting to feel like it before we do stuff. We believe we can think our way through like mental health situations or difficult situations. Even more than that, we believe like if we're even really trying, that we can will or force our way through stuff, because I've been able to do that to maybe pass a test or to make it through an all-nighter or something like that. That's not how mental health or life skills really work, okay? Even more, now that we have 24/7 social media and internet and access to information all the time, we believe that just gaining insight or gaining knowledge equals action. And this is not, that's our brain tricking us into that we're actually doing something. We have these aha moments as we're scrolling, and we're a lot of times looking for stuff to agree with what we're already thinking. And we're like, yup, and keep scrolling, yup. And what that does is once again, it tricks us into believing that we've actually done something towards what we need to do, as opposed to it's just spinning around. And James Clear, I love his book, Atomic Habits. I was fortunate to take a whole class this last summer based on his book, Atomic Habits, as the textbook. And as you can see, we are too often just in motion, like gaining information, gaining knowledge, maybe writing about it, thinking about it, right? And all that is spinning around, versus real actions, which create real results, which create real moods, real like forward motion in like dealing with our mental wellness, our physical health, and our spiritual or source of strength health. So there's a big difference. It seems small, but it's a huge difference. Actions create moods. Actions create good thoughts that create good feelings, which create more good actions, and so on and so forth. And here's what we do in the education system. We spend a lot of time shining the hood. Like, we have a lot of really cool programs, interventions, well-meaning individuals and groups coming at stuff from all different angles and whatnot, but we're not fixing the engine under the hood. And that's where the focus needs to be, which goes back to that graphic that I was showing you about my belief in myself, how I feel about myself, right? And not the fake kind, because it boils down to my real belief about myself is based on my skills and my abilities to deal with life. And do I believe that working hard, not giving up, is going to show some benefit in my life, right? So what we've done in our classrooms and in the care center, the classes that I teach the students, we've come up with These 4 life skills for a lifetime, and we call them life skills for a lifetime. We've developed classroom games that promote it. We've actually developed a board game, an old school type of board game that helps with these. And we call them life skills for a lifetime because it helps take away some of the stigma on mental wellness, mental health. That's why I asked you, like, what are your beliefs about mental health? That has a lot to do with how you want to, like leverage stuff and deal with stuff in terms of mental health. All right, so let's start with the first one, which is gratitude. We did that exercise earlier. It's such an important life skill because it opens up so many doors, and it is the like building block for so much what is good in terms of, not giving up, trying new things, knowing that I can solve problems that come my way, not getting stuck on what is not possible, right? And it helps me like start lifting others up as opposed to being stuck in my own problems. Next is your health. And we cannot differentiate between mental health, physical health. They go together. And what you eat, are you drinking water? Are you getting proper sleep and proper rest? And are you moving and exercising? They all work together. And there is no way. The research is vast and it's settled and it's growing in even more importance day by day as to how valuable these areas are. This is not about body types. This is not about how you look. Not. It is about actions you and me, we are taking that provide real benefits to us so that we can be our most powerful self. And I don't just mean powerful in terms of lifting things and, that. It is how I feel about myself and my ability to like make a difference and my skills to make a difference in this world and my feeling towards that, my belief, right? That's what we're talking about. So your health is vital and it's a real life skill for a lifetime. Third is catch your negativity. And nowhere in the classes, nowhere in my presentations do I talk about trying to be more positive. Oh, just be more positive. If you'll just be more positive. Now, I'm not saying positivity is bad. That's not what I'm saying. What the point of our life skills, the foundations are if I can catch my negativity, if I can stop speaking poorly about myself, bad about myself, if I can like really cut down on the complaining, on my worrying, on my gossiping, right? All that kind of stuff. If I can really catch that negativity, and here's where it's really difficult, is that it's normal to have negative thoughts. It's normal to worry. It's normal, but what's not okay is staying stuck in those, or that's what I focus on. Because when I do that, it takes me away from my ability to, once again, live my most powerful life. So we have all sorts of activities and just like things to build your skills for gratitude, your health, and catching your negativity, right? And then lastly is breath work, which is really the most powerful way to start creating productive stress response skills, okay? It's important. Like meditation is good, yoga is good, all that stuff is really good. But if I'm willing to learn how to regulate my body, regulate my emotions, just know that I can breathe my way through stressful situations, which help me like reframe what's going on. And just in general, that's why I asked, what's your belief about stress? Because if your belief about stress is, I don't want it and I never, I stay away from it, then you're not going to grow. And you're not going to lean into, well, I need to try this or do this difficult thing because I know once I make it through it, I'm going to be better off for it. So once I learned that stress is not my enemy, it's my response to stress, that's my superpower, now I'm cooking. Now I'm really ready to deal with stuff. So these 4 things together, these life skills for a lifetime, are incredibly valuable, and they are the foundation for like everything that we're trying to like accomplish in life. They're the building blocks. You ever been to a barbecue where they give you like that little single paper plate and you can't put hardly any of the good stuff on there because it can't hold it? And so here I am in life with that type of paper plate, and everything feels so much too much. But what we're asking is not to put this stuff that we're talking about, is not putting more on anybody's plate. It's building the plate. It's creating this plate that can hold life's difficulties, which are going to happen whether you want them to or not. The stresses of life going to happen whether you want them to or not, right? So that's why we're doing these workshops. And we do all this in the context of a connection between our mind and our body and our spirit. Or once again, if spirit or spirituality is not a term that you feel comfortable using, then you substitute source of strength. And this is based on integrative medicine. It's based on the work of Dr. Lisa Miller from Columbia University on how we are hardwired for spirituality, source of strength, right? It's Dr. Andrew Weil. All that, it's just amazing research that our mind and our body and I'm going to just say for me, my spirit are connected. And when I don't neglect those 3 things together, when I build those 3 things together, when I feed them on the daily, that's magic.